Hello, I'm Kay Foley of This Week with George Stephanopoulos, and I'm joined today by former Mitt Romney campaign senior advisor Dan Senor. And because we believe all politics is social here at This Week, we're putting some of your questions from Facebook to Dan. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you, Kate.
First question comes from Brenda Farver. Although I didn't vote for Romney, I felt Romney worked hard to win. How disheartening is it to work so hard to win only to lose? What is the day after the loss like?
I've been on the side of winning campaigns and I've been on the side of losing campaigns. And I will say that the low of losing eclipses the high of winning.
Really?
It's a lot harder to lose. Yeah, particularly because, you know, if you're deeply involved with a campaign at a pivotal time for the country, all of us who were involved with the campaign felt that the stakes were so high for the country that we really were at a sort of, you know, pivotal moment, and there were real differences between these two men, and you know, we felt strongly that one was better suited than the other, but we lost. It's still our country. Barack Obama is still our president. We'll continue to do what we do and make our case and hope that there's some common ground that can be found between the two parties, but it's very disappointing.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of time on the road, and that can really be taxing. So actually, our next question is from Robert Jevons, and he asks, when did Romney Paul wake, sleep?
In terms of, you know, sleeping, he would, you know, he'd get a regular night's sleep. He'd try to do his workout, his P90X, which has become legendary. He tries to do that every morning. As long as he got a little bit of sleep and his workout in, he could actually power through extremely long days.
Well, actually, people seem to be very concerned about sleep, and Deborah Sanchez asks, how well did you sleep?
Not well.
Not well?
Not well.
Not a full 8 hours?
No. Well, that's like over 2 nights, maybe.
Well, other questions about the campaign trail. What was your favorite stop?
Wow, that's a trick question. I have so many, and I don't want to offend any one particular state over another. You know, there were some real memorable moments. I think that night in Cincinnati, the Friday before Election Day, where we had something like 30,000 people out in the stadium, really cold out, for both Romney and Ryan. It was one of the most exciting rallies I was at. But there were interesting moments in almost every, you know, I could tell a story about every day on the campaign trail.
Favorite local food?
Oh, that's all. It's like a similar question. You know, the famous Cincinnati chili. You know, that's legendary. Favorite local food? Gosh, diners. We would go to so many diners. I know every diner in America.
Who has the best French fries?
Well, there's this one diner. I'm blanking on the name though. It was in Kentucky. And we went there the morning after Ryan's debate. I'll find out the name for you and get back to you. It was this great diner in Kentucky the morning after Ryan's debate. We went with his family, and I can't figure out whether or not the food was so good or it was just a relief that the debate was over.
What was the most surprising thing you learned about Mitt Romney or Paul Ryan on the trail?
When you're not involved with a campaign, you have this perception of what's involved in the campaign. There's so many pieces to it. There's the media strategy, there's the debates, there's the fundraising, there's the public rallies. There's a whole other element the press doesn't have access to, which is the family dynamic. And, you know, campaigns are very personal for the candidate, and their family, often it's harder on them than it is the candidate. Because the candidate's out there all the time, and they get the good and the bad. They get the highs and the lows. You know, they're out there with tens of thousands of people cheering them on, thanking them for running them, you know, holding their hands at rallies during rope lines, telling the candidate they're praying for them. They get all that positive energy. Sometimes the spouses, the family, are not on the trail, and they're just reading all the bad. They're just reading the bad news clips. They don't get that positive energy out on the campaign trail. So I think it's very hard for families, and even in the best of circumstances, even when you're winning.
After all of this, would you ever run for elected office?
I talked to my wife. I doubt it. I will stay involved with the process, and you know, like I said, seeing America through the lens of a campaign like this gives you hope for the country, just in terms of how engaged Americans are. So I intend to be involved one way or the other. No matter what I do, I have no plans to run.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for
Good to
joining
be
us
with
today.
you, Kay.
And thank you to all you that submitted your questions. Remember to follow us on Twitter at ThisWeekABC and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ThisWeekABC.